Election Day is just 3 days away, and one of the most closely watched contests is the New York City mayoral race between New York State Assembly member and Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani and former Governor Andrew Cuomo running as an independent and Republican Guardian Angels founder Curtis Sliwa. Recent polling shows the race tightening slightly, but Mamdani still leads Cuomo and Sliwa by double digits. Joining us now is former New York Governor and New York City mayoral candidate Andrew Cuomo. Governor, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I want to start right there. We're 3 days out from folks finishing voting here in your city. And I'm curious what you and your campaign are going to do at this point to convince people to change their minds. We're looking at all of these different polls, including a poll that your team sent that still has you 6 points behind. So what are you going to do at this point to change folks' minds?
Yeah, thank you for having me. First of all, 6 points is nothing, especially in these polls. And the polls in this race have been wrong from day one, but 6 points is nothing. It's almost the margin of error. And what we're seeing
three is the margin of error.
Unprecedented. Yes, I said it's almost the margin of error. What we're seeing is an unprecedented turnout of voters. That's why I would take all these polls with a grain of salt. I think you're going to have an historic turnout of New Yorkers, which is good. More voter participation, the better. But it's also a symbol of how concerned New Yorkers are about this election and the city and the state of the nation, frankly. So I have been obviously going all across the city. They are concerned about public safety. They want more police on the streets, affordability, more affordable housing. The only way to do that is to get government to actually build more affordable housing and stabilize the economy. Corporations have been leaving New York. People have been leaving New York. And they want to know that New York has a future and that we're getting those companies and those people back.
Governor Cuomo, I'm glad you mentioned public safety, affordable housing. These are things that, as mayor, you're going to have to work with the governor of the state in order to get a lot of the things that you want done. Not to mention, getting things from the state in terms of the budget. You and Governor Hochul used to be your lieutenant governor. She is now the governor, and she has endorsed your opponent. Do you think you will have a good working relationship with the governor to bring home the bacon to the Big Apple for the people of New York City if you become the governor? I'm sorry, if you become the mayor.
Yeah, but I know it's confusing, Jonathan. I'm with you. The first short answer is yes. As you said, Kathy Hochul, I selected as my lieutenant governor. I served with her. We have a nice personal relationship, a good professional relationship. Public safety really is in the purview of the mayor. How many police officers you hire? I want to hire 5,000 more police officers. Mayor Adams says we need 5,000 more police officers. Commissioner Tisch, New York City Police Commissioner, says we need 5,000 police officers. So that's within the mayor's purview, and that we can do. Affordable housing, yes, you have state funding. You also have federal funding, by the way, which is the mainstay on housing. But it's up to the city to actually get the housing built and sited and financed, et cetera. But on the bringing home the bacon, that is always the $64,000 question. And it's between the state and every city, right? As governor for 11 years, I got the budget balanced on time every year. Hasn't been done since. I had to make a budget deal with Buffalo and Rochester and Syracuse and New York City. My advantage is I know what the state can do. So I know, I'll know the budget from both sides of the table, if you will. We want our fair share from New York State. New York City is the economic engine for New York State. The state needs the city to do well. But I also know what the state can do relative to the overall context. So I think that gives me the advantage.
Governor, I want to ask you about a moment you just had that reminded me another moment in 2008 when Senator John McCain was at a town hall when a supporter called Barack Obama an Arab, and she told him that she couldn't trust Obama. McCain responded immediately. He took the microphone back and he said, "No, ma'am, he's a decent family man, a citizen that I happen to have disagreements with sometimes." He was obviously widely praised for that moment. It was a moment of moral leadership. Last week, you were on Sid Rosenberg's show when he said Zohran Mamdani, when he talked about Zohran Mamdani, and he said, God forbid another 9/11 happens. Can you imagine Mamdani in the seat? He'd be cheering. You laughed. You said it was another problem. And then the very next day, Mayor Adams stood next to you and warned about Islamic extremism if Mamdani wins. And you stood there and you nodded along. You've now had a week or so to unequivocally condemn these remarks. Will you do so right now on camera? And why didn't you have your John McCain moment?
Well, John McCain, I have, may he rest in peace, a total respect for. If a supporter of mine said that, I would have said exactly what John McCain said. I was on a radio show with a radio commentator who made that comment as a joke or laughing as he said it. But he was not my supporter. He's a radio commentator. I don't normally, and I don't think normally we hold elected officials or politicians to correct a comment from a journalist.
Right. Oh, well, so
I don't believe the mayor, and excuse me, I don't believe Mayor Adams ever said that, unless I missed it, but I don't believe Mayor Adams ever said that Mamdani was an Islamic extremist. I don't believe he said that.
No, but he did not. He warned about Islam. Well, then I'll ask you point blank here. I mean, my question, in my words, do you condemn Islamophobic comments about Zohran Mamdani unequivocally?
100%. 100%. I condemn Islamophobic comments, anti-Semitic comments, racist comments, bigoted comments, anti-Italian comments, of course. You know, New York, as New York governor for 11 years, Attorney General, our diversity is our strength, but it can also be a weakness. So you have to work very, very hard to make sure you're always keeping people united. And there's always flare-ups among different races, religions, creeds for one reason or another. After COVID, we had hostility towards the Asian community. So, yes, I've always been there to unify people. And I condemn and pass the strongest hate crime law in the United States of America, by the way.
Governor, I want to make sure and give you a chance to correct the record if you didn't mean to say, but it sounded like you said diversity can also be a weakness. What did you mean by that?
Diversity can be a weakness if you have antipathy among groups, Jonathan. If you have racism or anti-Semitism, et cetera. So then you'd have friction, right? Which we have had in New York. And so you have to work very hard to keep it as a positive and to make sure that it's not a negative and you have zero tolerance for any racism, any anti-Semitism, et cetera.
Andrew, Governor Cuomo, really quickly, I'm going to get in trouble with my producers because we need to let you go, but you know, Democratic voters have been kind of clear since the 2024 election that they want fresh blood, they want non-establishment figures. You know, you are someone who's a former governor, long family history in the state of New York. I think, you know, it would be honest to say that you're a member of the establishment. Why do you believe that you would be the exception to the rule? When we're hearing from Democratic voters, they want anti-establishment candidates.
Yeah, I get the general rule, Jonathan. We want fresh blood. We want a fresh face. I get it. New York City, the mayor is an important job, and people want to be safe. People want affordable housing. People want to see the economy working. And in New York City, you can have a major crisis at any given time. A couple of days ago was the anniversary of Hurricane Sandy, big storm, 50 people died. I don't think they want a mayor who has no experience or ability to do the job. And Mamdani, literally, this would be his first real job besides being a two-term assemblyman. Never managed anyone. And I think that is giving New Yorkers real pause. In this city, it can be a scary city, as you know, Jonathan, and you want someone in that seat who can handle whatever comes up. Experience is not a bad thing, Jonathan.
Right. No, that is
Jonathan,
correct.
you should
And
go.
this is Jonathan now. It was Eugene who was asking you those questions. Governor Andrew Cuomo
Oh, sorry.
of New York, thank you very much for coming to the weekend.